We welcome you into another episode of the best podcast available. You can get it wherever you find your podcasts. Also, youtube.com/Browns. Jason Gibbs with you, going through our draft class and meeting some of these fine gentlemen as they work their way through the offseason program of the Cleveland Browns and working our way to the Greenbrier in West Virginia in late July and the start of the 2024 season. Happy to be joined by 7th-round pick Jowon Briggs. Appreciate a few minutes of your time. You are a very, very busy person, and I'm not just talking, obviously, about the football side of things, but a family man, father of 3.
Yeah.
All girls, boy, girls?
I was lucky enough right now to have an oldest boy, a youngest boy, and a middle child for a girl. So
okay, all right.
protection for it.
I was going to say that's kind of a big deal, especially because I have 2 girls, and that's all I like. And they're in their 20s now, but in their teens, I don't think I slept a whole lot.
Yeah.
It was constantly, what are they into? What are they up to? And who's this boy?
Yeah, I can imagine. I have 4 older sisters, so
Really?
imagine it was the same for my dad.
Okay, all right. What? And now you've got bookends to take care of her in addition to you.
Exactly.
So all right, I like that. How's it been for you? What's your experience been like here so far? We're getting through OTAs and getting ready for mandatory minicamp. I mean, you guys have a couple more weeks here, and then finally a chance, I would think, to catch your breath maybe a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think it's been excellent. Just having a chance to actually, like I said earlier, get back into football, get back on the field, and, keep doing what I love doing is something that I'm nothing but thankful for. It's beautiful out here. I love running around on the grass. So, just being able to get out here and learn and being able to put myself in the best position as I can is something that I'm nothing but thankful to do.
So we talked about it before we started, and just being able to actually partake in football exercises and football drills and not stuff for a pro day or a combine or how far you can run, how fast you can run, how high you can jump, all of that. It's nice just to get back to football work.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I mean, a lot of that stuff is very important, and, the people that handle it are very respected and everything, but at some point in time, once you strap the cleats on and, put your helmet on and shoulder pads, some of it begins to be a bit of a moot point, with freak athletes that are on the field. So, I'm just excited to finally get back to that side of things.
If you could get rid of one thing in that pre-draft process, what would you get rid of?
That's a good question. Honestly, if I can get rid of one thing, it'll probably be the 40-minute drive every morning to the facility that I was training at in Fort Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, but, man, that drive was a little brutal sometimes.
I totally understand, especially during probably the month of March during spring break time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my in-laws have a winter home in North Fort Myers.
Really?
So the month of March we kind of avoid. I'm happy to go down in February. April gets a little warmer, but that's all right. March is a brutal month from a traffic standpoint.
Yeah, and I had just started to see it picking up because, I trained there for 8 weeks from January 1st to, basically March, like 3rd or 4th.
Sure.
Then after that, I was pretty much on my own at my facility in Cincinnati, just working out for pretty much a month until the Big 12 Pro Day. So, it's definitely refreshing to get back home and be able to, take that 10-minute trip up to UC and get a quick pump in.
Absolutely. Talking with Jowon Briggs, our 7th-round pick here for your Cleveland Browns and at defensive tackle. Started out at Virginia, then on back home to Cincinnati. What's the biggest thing that you learned from your college experience?
My biggest thing that I took away from all that was just be open to change and be open to helping the team. For me, I've always been a team guy. So, of course, people that have ever seen me play, you saw this year I was, standing up on the edge sometimes, dropping back sometimes. My first year in college, I was predominantly a nose. So I pretty much done, everything up and down the spectrum D-line wise, as long as it'll help the defense. So, just being open to change and being open and ready and raring to, embrace it. And I think that's just one thing that I've been able to do very well to this point.
How cool was it to be able to play some college ball where you grew up in Cincinnati?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I spent basically a year and a half at Virginia, and then I could transfer back to UC, and the guys opened me in there with open arms. It was almost like I'd been there the whole time, so it's a beautiful thing. I mean, there's still guys that I met that 2020 season that I'm still, kicking it with, hanging out with now. So I'm definitely glad that the guys were able to, welcome me back in, and Coach Vic and, the whole staff was able to, bring me back there so we could, have fun.
Have fun you did. Were you a captain?
Mm-hmm.
You were voted a captain, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it was more than just welcoming you back with open arms. I mean, to come in as a transfer and immediately it pays dividends and it ends your career with the title of captain, how important was that for you?
I think it was, instead of saying it was important for me, I'd say it was such a humbling thing to see that the guys actually saw me in that light, especially after those 3 years. I've always been a guy that kind of likes to, put the horse blinders on and just work and work and work. I've never been a really flashy, pretty much give the guys a rah-rah speech type guy. I could do that if you want me to, but, I've never been that type of guy. I've always been the type of guy that likes to lead with his actions. So just seeing that my actions had that type of impact on the guys on the team to where they saw me as that leader is something that, it's something that's very humbling, and it's something that I appreciate for those guys, allowing me to, take the point on the team this year and just having fun and allowing for them to trust in me a little bit.
When you were in college, obviously you got to make ends meet as well. Mm-hmm. You worked in fast food?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
So I was the manager at this chicken spot called Chicken Cone. It was a great little spot, nice little quaint spot and a new spot. It was a new place in Blue Ash, so we pretty much hand rolled a whole bunch of ice cream cones every morning. Then we'd chop up cooked chicken. Then we had all types of sauces you can put on your chicken, and then you just put the chicken in the cone. Now we did make exactly. We did make handmade ice cream cones, so we did also have ice cream and shakes and stuff, and it was pretty fun to do that. And by the time I turned 21, they start doing this thing called Adora, to where we can now serve, different things, like they call them boozy slushies to the people walking up and down. And Adora is a designated outside refreshment area in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So you could openly carry alcohol up and down the strip. So that was pretty much a big thing, especially on weekends. People would come in, grab a slushie, a boozy slushie, and maybe get a chicken cone and then walk out up and down the strip.
Fascinated by the chicken cone. So little chunks,
mm-hmm.
just chicken chunks?
Yeah, you'd take you make your chicken strip.
I want to go here.
Cook it and then chop it up and then put it in the chicken cone. I thought it was delicious.
All right, so here's my question, because my kids worked in fast food, and they're like, we can't eat where we used to work. Is that the case for you? Is the chicken cone not an option for you?
I'll say this. At this point in time right now, just because of my diet, I don't really have a hankering for chicken cone, just because of my diet. Now, if I was going to cut loose, maybe, in July.
Got 6 weeks.
Exactly. Maybe if I want to go grab a chicken cone, I might go grab a chicken cone. But as of now, I can't do it. Kenny, I'm sorry. I can't do it. But
soon enough.
Maybe later. Exactly.
Jowon Briggs joins us, our 7th-round pick here from the University of Cincinnati. So the Browns, had you met with the Browns before the draft? What did you know about the Browns and the organization here leading up?
Yeah, so I was actually brought in for a 30 visit here. Luckily enough, I was blessed enough to get a visit, and it was just eye-opening to see what was right up the street, right up 71 for me. So, just getting in here and being able to talk and being able to showcase myself aside from football and showcase myself with football is something that I'm thankful for as well.
Take me back to draft day. What was it like?
For me, it was pretty run of the mill for me.
Okay.
I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out and have a party or do something crazy. I'm the type of guy that some people call me a pessimist, but I call myself a realist. I prepare for the worst, and then you react to whatever blessing is thrown your way. For me, it was kind of just go about your day, and then, whatever happens, happens. Of course, there were calls. Me and my agent were very close and tied together through that, especially the third day, just making sure we had things in place just in case. But for me, it was just, hanging out with my kids, hanging out with my wife. My parents didn't even come over until after. So I pretty much told them, let's just wait. Let's hold off on the celebration. Let's see what happens. We could celebrate, once we got some in concrete. So it was just me and my kids and my wife, and they're running around and, acting pretty much as kids do near that time.
Exactly. Pretty
stir crazy. So they're running around, and, I get, a phone call, so I'm going to answer it, and there it was.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's like a normal day.
Exactly.
Like you said, I mean, with 3 kids, you don't have time to worry when the phone is going to ring or if the phone's going to ring. It's, okay, what are they doing? Can I keep them out of trouble? Who's getting into what? Who's behaving themselves? All of that.
I can only control the controllables. That's how I kind of strut through life.
Talking with Jowon Briggs here, double major, physics and music.
And
Now, the guys that run the daily radio show make fun of me because I was in the men's chorus at Bowling Green. I played basketball at Bowling Green, and then but I also played trombone.
Really?
I grew up, but yeah, my mother was like, you can be an athlete, you can do all that stuff, but you're going to be in the arts as well.
That's kind of how mine were.
Really?
Exactly.
Whole family is musically inclined?
I'd say my direct family is really where it ties in. All 4 of my eldest sisters do something different, whether it's orchestral music, percussion, symphonic music. All of them are vocalists. So my sister actually does a lot of shows out in Kansas City. So it's definitely been a bit of a trickle-down effect for me and my little brother and getting just everything that they do. And I like a lot of music. My brother's more so into the electronic side, programming things into FL Studios or Logic or something. And while I've done that, he's much better than me. But I like the actual physical feeling of holding an instrument.
Okay. What is the instrument of choice?
As of now, I'd probably say bass guitar.
Okay.
I used to be very good at viola, but I have a viola now, but I don't really play it as much. I have a lot of instruments just lying around that will get picked up and played with a lot. So
obviously something that you'll probably instill in your kids as well.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
young.
Yeah, they got little pianos that they bang around on and make noise. I'm probably gonna get a larger, Casio keyboard or something for them to kind of explore a little bit more with. But I can't let my son anywhere near my guitars anymore because I could show you the picture. He literally snapped the neck of my electric guitar in half. So sad to say, but
I love you, kid, but I'm ready to disown you currently if you do that again.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at it was pretty much brand new. I sat there, probably hooked it up to the amp maybe 5 times. I come downstairs, I come back from practice, snapped in half. So
not great. Not a great day by any stretch. Talking with Jowon Briggs, best piece of advice you've gotten since you've been here?
Best piece of advice, I'd probably just say, honestly, it's just be a sponge, honestly. Take everything that anybody can give to you in any way. Some guy might give you some advice, some coach might give you some advice, some other person might give you some advice. And even though you don't want to try to model yourself after one person, every person around here has something that they can give to you. Every person around here does something better than you do. So in my head, I try to, look and take certain things from people that they do better than me and try to improve upon that in myself.
First thought when you walk into that defensive line room and Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, Tomlinson, there's a whole room full of guys in there. First thought when you walked in?
No, for me, honestly, it's honestly just been a blessing for me, honestly. I mean, some guys will say, my first thought was, I'm ready to compete, yada, yada. But for me, I was still feeling such overwhelming blessings. Just being able to actually be in that room around all those guys, around all those greats, and being able to pick their brains, have the opportunity to pick their brains, let alone compete with them. People always say iron sharpens iron. I mean, shoot, diamonds sharpen diamonds at this point. We're all in the NFL. So if I can, like I said, pick little things from any of those, I mean, the sky's the limit for any of us at this point.
All right, but I'll get you out of here on this one. Appreciate your time, and I know it's a busy time for you on and off the football field. What are your goals? What is your goal? I'll shrink it down even more. What is your biggest goal from the time you leave minicamp in June to when we come back to the Greenbrier and get ready for the 2024 season? What do you want to improve on? What do you think you need to work on?
Yeah, so for me, it's pretty simple. I want to become very, 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 very comfortable with all the plays, almost to the point to where I could wake up and then, look at a piece of film, no overlays on, and call out the exact play, tell what everybody's doing. Now, I'm pretty close to being that, but you know you could always be better. Just because, you know, if you take care of the mental thing now, and you really, really hammer down on the mental stuff now, once the bullets start flying with the pads on, it'll be a little bit easier for you, you know. So just making sure I got that, making sure my lungs are right. So, you know, conditioning is a big thing. I take a lot of pride in, you know, my physical body as well. So just making sure that I'm being accountable for myself and, you know, taking the workouts and doing what I can to, you know, stay in shape and be in the best shape as I can.
There you go. Maybe a chicken cone as well, or two. Maybe just one or two. If you're listening, nutrition team, it's all right. I appreciate the time. I wish you all the best. Enjoy your family time, because I know once we come back here in August, it gets a little limited, at least through the training camp portion of the program. But congratulations on becoming a Brown, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.